because, you know, I told my teammates this is going to be the loudest arena you've ever played in.
Yeah, Brazil had no answer whatsoever for Caitlin Clark. None. Zilch, zero.
Hawkeye Arena for a preseason WNBA game, and the Indiana Fever was on fire, defeating the Brazil national team by almost.
The Brazilian national team just made Caitlin Clark's homecoming a lot more personal. While cameras were rolling, they decided to dance right on her logo at Carver-Hawkeye Arena, a direct taunt that set basketball Twitter on fire. With Clark already dealing with a left leg injury and tickets selling for up to $450, this adds even more tension to her highly anticipated Iowa return. Sophie Cunningham's already talking about defending home court and making it hard as heck for visitors. Is this exactly the motivation the Indiana Fever needs right now?
It was it. They had none. They had nothing. They could not do anything today when it came to Caitlin Clark.
And we were definitely looking forward to ever since the WNBA announced that some of the preseason games would feature star players playing back at their college arenas.
Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So, did you click the subscribe button? Great. Thank you so much. Now, back to the video. Were you able to witness the performance of the Brazilian team at Iowa? At the moment, the video is being shared on various social media platforms, and basketball enthusiasts are going absolutely insane. Members of the Brazilian national team can be seen dancing and rejoicing on Caitlin Clark's logo at Carver-Hawkeye Arena, which is something that the majority of people did not anticipate seeing in the clip. Directly on it, not in the vicinity of it, not next to it, but directly on it. In the video, the contempt is as obvious as the sun shining. They didn't just choose to dance on any old court. This was a very special court. This was Clark's domain, the very court on which she established herself as a legendary figure in the world of collegiate basketball. It was the location where she shattered records and where hundreds of fans chanted her name game after game over and over again.
Because if you guys did not see this game, they tried. They were double teaming Caitlin. They were blitzing Caitlin.
The biggest of those matchups, no doubt, was with the biggest star, Caitlin Clark, playing here at Iowa. It was so much fun, Todd. I got to tell you.
They genuinely looked mediocre. And I understand, yes, they were plus 20 when she was on the bench, but they were plus 42 with her on the floor.
It is precisely because of this that this taunt hit is unique. It's quite personal. It's the same as if someone were to go into your home and put their feet up on the coffee table. If you look at the footage more closely, you will notice that this was really carefully planned out. There were a number of Brazilian players who congregated particularly on Clark's emblem, properly positioned themselves, and then began their celebratory dance. They did not make the moves by chance. They were fully aware of what they were doing and where they were doing it simultaneously. The camera captured everything that was going on, including their smiles and their motions, all of which took place directly on top of the logo that reflects Clark's influence at Iowa.
Brazilian team, they tried to rough up Caitlin, not rough up Caitlin, they tried to be physical with Caitlin. They tried
against the Brazilian national team. And here's Clark before the game talking about how she could not wait to make even more magic happen in the arena where
they were doing exactly what you're supposed to do, guarding Caitlin Clark in a big game.
Instantaneously after this video was uploaded to the internet, social media went totally crazy. X, which was originally known as Twitter, was flooded with remarks from all directions. There were other fans who were totally furious and referred to it as the most extreme form of disrespect. A fan wrote the following: CC going to put the brakes on y'all for playing with her at home, dancing on her logo like that man. The fury was truly felt. However, not everyone looked at it in that manner. An additional commenter referred to it as so wholesome, interpreting it as more of a competitive fire than an insult instead. This demonstrates how contentious Clark has become in the world of women's basketball, as evidenced by the split reaction. It's possible that you're curious about the reason why the Brazilian team would specifically target Clark. One thing to keep in mind is that Clark is not your typical player. It is because of her enormous popularity and accomplishment that she has become both a source of motivation and a target. You will be in the spotlight if you are able to reach to that level so quickly. When you are in the spotlight, there are individuals who want to put you to the test, push you, or bring you down to your lowest point. Those on the Brazilian team were well aware of who they were making fun of and the implications of their actions. This timing could not be more perfect or more deliberate if it were all predetermined.
Competitor, those are the moments you live for. You know, when the spotlight's on, it's the same today. Like, you know, we're on ESPN. This is a great opportunity for our team. Like,
They try to bully her. They try to bully her on the inside early in that game. She wasn't moving. She wasn't moving. Like,
This took place just prior to Clark's anticipated return to Iowa, which was such a massive event that tickets were selling for as much as $450. It is not typical for a women's basketball exhibition game to have such a situation. That's the territory of all superstars. Clearly, the Brazilian squad sought to inject some excitement to the matchup, since they were aware that everyone's attention would already be focused on this game. To what extent does this impact Clark's mental state? Is she going to be thrown off her game, or will this ignite a fire burning within her? To taunting such as this, athletes react in a variety of different ways. Others become agitated and do less well. That disdain is turned into rocket fuel by others, who then perform even better as a result.
Hawkeye Arena for a preseason WNBA game, and the Indiana Fever was on fire, defeating the Brazil national team by almost.
they went full denial when the ball wasn't in her hand. They literally could not stop anything.
For the reason that Clark has a history of competing, many fans are placing their bets on the latter. A supporter made the following comment: "CCFA to do them so bad tomorrow," indicating that they anticipated Clark to make the Brazilian team rue their little dance celebration. Something that was first a simple exhibition game has now evolved into something that is significantly more significant. It's a private matter now. It's no longer only about having good basketball abilities. Now it's also about getting back at those who disrespect you and protecting your own turf. Due to the fact that the stakes have suddenly been raised, basketball fans who would have been tempted to forego watching now have it noted on their calendars. Dramatic content is the most effective way to attract viewers, and the Brazilian team has just supplied it in abundance.
She literally was blocking shots, and they couldn't stop her. They couldn't stop the Fever when she played offense.
going to come out there and try to dominate. Certainly give the fans something to cheer about. That's my goal. Get them involved, get them loud.
When she played off, when she was on the floor, they couldn't stop the Fever's offense. They couldn't stop her running. They were trying to blitz her. When she didn't have the ball in their hand, they went full denial.
However, this is not solely about Clark's reaction to the situation. There are certain thoughts regarding the chemistry of the squad that her Indiana Fever teammate Sophie Cunningham has, and these thoughts can provide us with some hints about how they will manage this issue. It is often the case that the manner in which a team rallies behind a targeted individual reveals everything about the chemistry and culture of the team. Will this serve as a moment of communal unity for the Fever? In order to convey a message, will they come out with a greater level of intensity? When opponents attack a single player in such a direct manner, it frequently has the effect of generating something that coaches are unable to produce: genuine motivation and cohesiveness. It's possible that the Brazilian squad was attempting to get under Clark's skin, but they may have inadvertently provided the Fever with something more valuable: a purpose to play with additional emotion, extra focus, and extra effort in order to prove a point.
Literally just not moving at all. Like, they couldn't move her. So this is what was happening. Like, their decision was they were trying to.
You approach this the same exact way you would approach game 1 or game 44, whatever it is. And you always have to have that mindset. So
One of the most beneficial things that can be done for a group is to provide them with a shared adversary, and the Brazilian national team has recently volunteered to take on that position. The phenomenon that we are witnessing right now is the ideal storm for Clark. She is currently coping with an injury, making an emotional return to the place where she became a star, and now it is the Brazilian team that is presenting her with this direct challenge. The pressure is on, right? Despite the fact that Clark has not yet returned to the court, this logo dance has already created an entirely new chapter in her epic story. those fans who paid $450 for those tickets are getting additional drama that they did not anticipate receiving. Now, the question that really matters is how Clark will react. Is she going to use this disrespect as a way to motivate herself to go all out? Alternatively, did the Brazilian team manage to get into her head? It's possible that her reaction says everything we need to know about her mental toughness.